Hello everyone, today we are going to learn about the chapter 17 Forest Lifeline for the class 7th. So in this chapter we'll be learning about the introduction, what are the products we get from the forest, what are the things, what are the different terms which are there, then what are the uses of the forest and effect of deforestation. So let's begin. Forests, we all know that they serve as a green lungs and purify the water system in nature. So we depend upon forests for many things that we will be learning in this chapter. But we know they are called green lungs because they provide us with pure oxygen, take away the carbon dioxide, excessive carbon dioxide which is produced, or pollution which is produced in nature by human activity. So forest is a best example for habitat. So what is the habitat? Habitat is a place where an organism live. So forest, we will find variety of organisms. So various types of plants are found here like sal, teak, simul, shesham, neem, palash, fig, khair, amla, bamboo, etc. They all have their own benefits. So we get many food from the plants, fuel, boxes, paper, matchsticks and furniture. So these are just only few things I have written here that we get from the forest. So there are various types of products which we get from the forest. So let's learn about certain terms related to the plants. So there are crown. Now what is a crown? The crown is the branchy part of a tree above the stem, that is called crown. So here you can see branches of the tree. So above the stem, the branchy part is called the crown. Next is canopy. The branch of the tree look like the roof over the other plants in a forest, and this is called canopy. So when you look from the top, you can get a top view like this. So where you feel like it is a roof and other plants are below that roof. So that is called canopy. Next is understory. The trees have crowns of different type, different heights. Some of them are very short, some of them are very long. So we can say just like building, different layers or different floors of buildings are there. In the same manner, in forest when we visit, we will find the different heights of plants. So the trees have crowns of different types and size, and they create a different horizontal layer in the forest which is known as understory. So these are the three terms: canopy, understory and crown. So we learnt in the first slide that forests serve as a green lungs, purify the water, they provide a habitat for various animals and organisms, and there are various types of trees are there. Few examples are the names which is locally available in your surrounding. You can name those plants, and we get various types of product, and we learn the terms crown, canopy and understory. So now let's study about the forest. So we have the organisms which are present in the forest. So there are various types of insects. We find there spiders, very unique types of squirrels are endemic to a particular area forest, ants and various types of small animals which are living on the soil or on the bark of the plants or the trees or the leaves, and also on the decaying leaves of the forest floor. So usually when you go or visit a forest, you might have seen that the forest floor, they look very dark in color. This darkness is nothing because they have different layers of dead and decaying leaves. So these dead and decaying leaves or the fruit or seeds or the twigs or the small herbs which are there, if they have died and they have decomposed, they will appear like rich humus which is more darker in color, or we can say more black in color. So hence the soil of the forest will be more rich. So hence the forest floor is more darker in color. Forests are the lifeline. We know that if trees are not there, the whole life will be stopped there. So all animals, whether they are herbivores or carnivores, they depend upon plants for their food. We know herbivores are those organisms which directly depend upon plants, and carnivores, they indirectly depend upon herbivores because they are flesh-eating animals, so they feed on to these animals who are herbivores. So indirectly they get the plant products. So directly or indirectly, both herbivores, carnivores or omnivores, they depend upon the forest or the plants. Now there's a new term called food chain. This is a simple term. Organisms which feed on plants often get eaten up by insects, which are in turn eaten up by the frog, which are consumed by the snake. So this is the process of eaters being eaten. So this process is called food chain. You can see here a small example here. The green plants, they are eaten by the herbivores. So here deer is a herbivore and deer is eaten by the tiger, who is a carnivore. So the life goes on, and the plants make their food with the help of the source of energy which they get from they trap from the sun. So it is always going in one direction. So when the tiger dies, it will come back to the soil, the decomposers will feed onto it, again the plants will utilize that nutrient. So you can see here the eater is being eaten, and that is called a food chain in a forest ecosystem. Now there's a new term called food web. So all the food chains, they are always linked with each other. No food chain is unique. They are all connected to one another. This network of food chain is called food web. So if any plants or animals in a food chain is disturbed, it will affect the whole food web. So you can see here, grass is not only eaten by a rabbit, but it's also eaten by a deer. Now the rabbit is eaten by the vulture or eagle, and it is also eating the fox when it dies. So all of them, you can see the carnivore, it is eating the wolf also as well as the deer. So they are all interconnected. This is one food chain where the grass is being eaten by the rabbit, rabbit is being eaten by the wolf, wolf is eaten by a tiger or lion. Another food chain we can state here is the grass is eaten by a deer, deer is eaten by a lion or a tiger. Another food chain, the grass is eaten by a rabbit, rabbit is eaten by the eagle. So they are all interconnected. If any of these organisms are removed, the other organisms will die or their number will decline. It doesn't happen because these organisms, they will have another organisms to feed. But if it is too much of disturbed, like plants, if they are completely removed, naturally the herbivores, they will not be able to get the food, and these animals, they either become skinny or they will die because of the food unavailability. Because of that, the other organisms also will be affected. So that's what the statement previously stated, that if you affect one organism is affected in a food chain, it will affect the other organisms also. Now let's see about the uses of the forest. The microorganism, we know small minute organisms are called microorganisms. They are present in the soil, they are present in the air also, but in the soil there are various types of organisms are there. They will convert the dead plants as well as the animals to humus. They are called decomposers. So what are decomposers? The organisms which convert the dead plants and animals to humus are called decomposers. These decomposers, they will be feeding on to the dead and convert them the dead plants or animal tissue into dark color substances called humus. So what is humus? Humus is a dark color substances which is formed by the action of decomposers on the dead and decaying plants and animal tissue. Now the humus-rich soil will be present in the forest or anywhere. They will ensure that the nutrients will be available to the plants for its normal growth. So thus we can say the forest is as a dynamic living entity. Nothing goes waste in the forest. That is an apt word to say, because when organisms, they are dead, they are decomposed. By the help of decomposers, humus is created. This humus rich soil, new plants, they will grow, or these nutrients are used by the plants which are already there. So do you recognize this plant which is there? This is a fungus. So fungus, they are living, they are decomposers, or we can say they are saprophytic organisms. They feed on the dead and decaying organisms. Plants, they are called the lungs of the forest. Plant will release, we know, oxygen. They take up the carbon dioxide and gives us the oxygen. So that process is called photosynthesis. So plant releases oxygen through a process called photosynthesis. This oxygen is available to all the animals, including human. Human is an animal. So it is available to all the animals for respiration. The carbon dioxide which is released as a result of respiration given out by the animals is used up again for photosynthesis. So here you can see a small cycle where you can see the oxygen which is produced by the plants as a result of photosynthesis will be available to the animals. Animals, when they respire, gives away carbon dioxide which again is used up by the various types of plants. We get various types of products from the plants. So they provide not only food, shelter, water, medicine, but they also act as a natural absorber of the rainwater. You might have seen that when the rainfall occurs, the big raindrops, they fall onto the soil and they take away, and they become the running water. They take away the top fertile layer of the soil. But in a forest, it doesn't happen like that. The rainfall occurs on the leaves, and through the leaves, it slowly slides across the trunk of the forest tree, and then it slides slowly to the soil. From there, it goes deeper into the soil. So forest not only help to prevent the flood, but also maintain the flow of water in streams. So if trees are not present, rain will hit the ground directly and many area will be under flood. So it will also carry the fertile topsoil, causing soil erosion, and because of that the forest deforestation, drought, all those problems can arise. Similarly, sound pollution, air pollution are controlled by the trees because they will absorb the excessive sound as well as the polluted air. So causes of deforestation, it is because we know that we cut the trees for the construction of roads, building, then to make new industries. Similarly, grazing of animals, they destroy the grassland. Clearing of the forest for agriculture purposes, as well as the forest fire, which can be man-made or it can be natural. So there are many consequences also occur because of the deforestation. That is, various types of pollutions comes, flood, drought, loss of important medicinal plants. Similarly, the shelters of animals are lost, soil erosion occur because of that, global warming as well as the climatic change. So it is our responsibility, after knowing the causes and the consequence, whether we want our land to undergo global warming and have a drastic climate change, or we have to protect our land to be available for the future generation.